When we give our child back to God, it's a confirmation of our love for God. See, when you give your child back to God, when you dedicate your child to God, you're saying, God, I love this child. But you want to know something, God? I love you more. I love you so much, God, I'm gonna trust you with my child. Normally in the Jewish tradition, the firstborn is always dedicated to God. We don't stop there. We go further. We dedicate all our children to God. Abigail and Caleb were both dedicated, and they're both dedicated to God. I have said, God, I'll do what I can. I'll try not to screw up. I will screw up, I know, as a parent. But I will try to do what I can so that they have a walk with you. And you can guide them and lead them. And you've got plans for them that are far beyond. I have plans for my son. My son has, I want to be a policeman. I'm like, ooh. Today, I'm not so sure about that. But I sat there and I said, God, if that's what you want for my son. I always point over here because this is where they normally sit, by the way, if you're wondering why I'm pointing over here. If that's what you want for my son, then that's what you're going to do. I'm going to release him for that. Confirmation that we love God. We love our children. We want what's best for them. So we discipline them. We're willing, kids don't understand this. Son, I'm going to have to spank you because I love you. They're like, right. You're spanking me because you're mad. It's like, no, I'm not mad. I'm spanking you because I love you. The Lord disciplines the ones he loves. So we love our children so much that we have to discipline them at times. We want the best for them. So we're willing to give them limitations and hold them to those limitations. And in the process, we're also willing to allow God to discipline us. I never thought about that before, but I'm thinking, that's right. God gives me this child, and I discipline this child, and I lead this child, and I show this child, and I put limits on this child, and I hold him to it. And I do all that, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a great dad. I'm a great dad. And then I look, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. God does the same thing to me. He disciplines me. He puts limits on me. He holds me to it. And I'm like, whoa, I'm a good dad. I'm not so sure I'm a good child to God all the time. We have to allow God to discipline us too, out of love. And sometimes we even change our lives for the benefit of our child. We change our lives for their benefit. But understand that the children cannot take the place of God in our lives. They can't. That's idolism. That's no different than creating a little statue and putting it and worshiping it. We can't allow our children, the love we have for our children, to replace the love we have for God. God is always first. Jesus in Matthew says, in Matthew 10:37-38, says, whoever loves father and mother more than me is not worthy of me. And whoever loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And whoever does not take his cross and follow me is not worthy of me. See, we can't put our love for somebody else in front of our love for God. And we're showing, as we dedicate our children back to God, we are confirming that our love for God is greater than our love for this child. Man, this love for this child is huge. I remember both of my kids are adopted. And I remember going to the hospital and holding them for the first time. Fell in love with them immediately. Fell in love with them immediately. And it was different than any other love I've ever experienced. But it wasn't greater than my love for God. It can't be. It can't be.